Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the meditation. So today we will meditate on Shamatha, single-pointed meditation called calm abiding, also called Shine in Tibetan. So the first thing we'll look at is our posture, and then our motivation for this session, and then I'll give the instructions for Shamatha. So the posture, the most important thing is to sit with your back straight, for your body to be upright. Ideally, we sit on the floor, but if you sit on a chair, that's also fine. Just make sure your back is straight. And if you sit on the floor, ideally it would be with full lotus posture, so, with one leg on top of the other. That might be a little bit difficult. So make sure you are not pushing, not forcing yourself, not forcing your body. You can also simply sit cross-legged or in half lotus or even Burmese style, with one leg in front of the other. So the back is straight, the shoulders are even and relaxed. You can imagine that you have a string pulling the crown of your head upwards for your back to be straight. But don't be stiff, your body must be flexible. You must be able to do this, to turn from left to right in a relaxed way. The hands are sitting in the meditative mudra, the concentration mudra. So with your right hand on top of your left, and your two thumbs are slightly touching. And this rests at your lap. The neck is aligned with the spine. You can slightly tilt your head forward, not too much. A tip of the ancient masters is for your tongue to be placed towards your upper palate, behind your upper teeth, and this helps to reduce the production of saliva. And finally, this might surprise you, but we don't meditate with eyes closed. We leave them slightly opened. But it is not the eye consciousness. We don't pay attention to what our eye consciousness is apprehending. It is the mental consciousness that meditates. So we don't leave them completely opened either. They're just slightly open. And the gaze is slightly cast down, just like 45 degrees in front of us. So this is for the posture. Now let us look at our minds, coming for this session to meditate. Why do we meditate? Why do we sit and practice calm abiding, single-pointed meditation? It is to develop our minds, to build the habit to use, especially when we do calm abiding, to develop these mental factors of introspection and mindfulness, to get more control over our minds, so that we may be able to, with this concentration, with this faculty of the mind, to focus on whatever object we want, to finally observe reality as it is, observe the emptiness of inherent existence, of reality, which is the ultimate antidote, which is the solution to all of our problems. Because it is that wisdom of emptiness that is the direct antidote to the root of all our afflictions, negative states of mind, such as anger, attachment, such as jealousy, pride, and so on and so forth. It is the direct antidote to the ignorance that apprehends phenomena as existing truly, as existing independently, as existing, from their own side, intrinsically. Constantly, we have this feeling of an I, of a me that exists truly, independently from its own side. And therefore, we consider ourselves as the center of the universe. We consider ourselves as more important than others. And because of that, all sorts of mental disturbations come about, such as anger, attachment, jealousy, and so on and so forth. So to counteract these, to eliminate these afflictions, as well as to eliminate all our negative karmas, we develop our minds to be more concentrated. And this concentration is actually a necessity for us to observe, to directly realize the absence of objective existence of ourselves and all phenomena. So we can consider that all sentient beings are in the same condition. Constantly, they are apprehending themselves and all phenomena as existing truly. Because of that, they have this sense of I, more important than others. All their afflictions arise, and these afflictions, they lead them to create, negative karmas. And these negative karmas inevitably come to a suffering result. So constantly, all sentient beings are going through the various types of suffering, constantly taking rebirth in unfortunate states. And even as human beings, they experience undesirable, they make undesirable experiences, such as, poverty, health issues, many, many things, obstacles, problems at work, problems in the family, problems with their partners, and so on and so forth. So take a moment to try to generate a sense of compassion. Because of this ignorance, sentient beings constantly engage in negative karmas and constantly experience the suffering result of these. Try to generate a sense. May sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. Now I have this precious opportunity to develop my mind through studying, reflecting, and meditating. I have the opportunity to eliminate all my afflictions. I have the opportunity to purify my negative karma. I have the opportunity to even eliminate all my cognitive obscurations, my obscurations to knowledge, my obscurations to full awakening. I have the opportunity to achieve the state of a Buddha by working on my mind, by generating compassion, by generating bodhicitta, by developing calm abiding, concentration, and by realizing the absence, the emptiness of true existence of all phenomena. So by doing this work on my mind, I have the opportunity to become fully enlightened, fully awakened Buddha, in order to benefit sentient beings, in order to guide sentient beings unmistakenly. Try to generate this most beautiful motivation of bodhicitta for this session. May I become a Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. With this motivation in mind, we will meditate on calm abiding, Shamatha. So I'll quickly remind you of the instructions. So the first is the posture that I explained at the beginning. The most important thing is for your back to be straight, for your body to be upright. The second instruction is the object of meditation. What are we actually meditating on? So if you are familiar with this meditation, if you're familiar with Shamatha practice, with single pointed concentration, or Shinne in Tibetan, you can use the object that you are familiar with, that you usually take for this meditation. And if you're not familiar with this meditation, what I would recommend is to focus on the breathing sensation at the entrance of the nostrils. So for the entire duration of the meditation, which will only be a few minutes, try to place all your attention there on the breathing sensation at the entrance of the nostrils, and try not to lose this object of meditation. The third instruction is the errors that arise during meditation. You know, our minds gets distracted in many ways. And the two main ways the mind gets distracted is with either excitement or laxity. So excitement, you know, the mind starts thinking about the past, the future, you know, starts worrying about the future or planning, like what will I do later this morning, this afternoon, tonight, tomorrow, and so on and so forth. Or remembers the past, you know, for example, thinking about last night, thinking about the day before, and so on and so forth. So this is called excitement. And as soon as the mind becomes excited, we actually lose the object. We are distracted from our meditation, so the object is lost. The other way the mind gets distracted is through laxity, also called dullness or lethargy. So it is a kind of, the mind is sinking, the mind is falling asleep, you know. So in that way, the object is also lost. Our object of meditation, we are not focused on it anymore. So the mind is also distracted in that way. So these are the two errors of meditation: excitement and laxity. So the fourth and final instruction is the antidotes to these two errors, which are alertness, also called introspection, and mindfulness. So the first one, introspection or alertness, is your mind, a part of your mind, while you're focusing on your object of meditation, here the breathing sensation at the entrance of the nostrils. While you are doing it, a small part of your mind is actually checking, like controlling, you know, quality checking. Am I meditating? Am I focused on my mental object? Am I focused on my object of meditation? So introspection is looking at that, a bit like, you know, the police is looking what your mind is doing. In the corner of your mind is checking. And if this introspection, this mental factor, notices that the mind has wandered, the mind has gone into, you know, excitement or laxity, this introspection notices it and kind of tells the second mental factor, the second antidote, which is mindfulness. And the role of this mindfulness is to bring the mind back onto the object and to kind of, you know, tie it there so that the mind stays onto the object. So it is completely normal, you know, that especially as beginners, that we get distracted, that we lose our object often with either excitement or laxity. The important thing, what we are training when we do these meditations, we are training in using these two mental factors, introspection and mindfulness. So it is important to have this introspection in the back of our heads, you know, checking. And immediately when introspection notices that the mind has wandered, that the mind is not focused on the object anymore, what is very important is to immediately, you know, use mindfulness and bring the mind back onto the object. So we will try this for about 10 minutes today. We will try to not lose, you know, our object of meditation for 10 minutes. And if we do lose it, you know, we apply the antidotes. So just very quickly, first instruction, your posture, most important, your body to be upright. Second, your object of meditation. You can use the sensation of the breathing at the entrance of the nostrils. Third instruction, the errors of meditation, how the mind gets distracted with either excitement or laxity. And the fourth and last instruction is to use the two antidotes, introspection and mindfulness. So let's try this together for about 10 minutes. gently come out of the meditation. And let us take a moment to dedicate the merits of doing this meditation, of trying to develop our mental factors of introspection and mindfulness, so that our concentration becomes stable and clear, so that we may soon, very soon, see reality as it is, empty of existing inherently, of existing objectively, inherently, truly, independently from its own side. And by realizing this emptiness directly, may we be able to soon, very soon, eliminate all of our afflictive and cognitive obscurations, so that we may be fully liberated, free from samsara, but also achieve the state of omniscience, the state of a fully awakened Buddha, in order to liberate all suffering sentient beings without leaving none aside. May the supreme mind of bodhicitta that has not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase forevermore. May the wisdom of emptiness that has not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase forevermore. We can pray for the long and healthy lives of our spiritual guides, our lamas. In particular, we pray for the long and healthy life of His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. May he live very long and healthy and continue to teach us for a very long time. May all his wishes become spontaneously fulfilled. We can also pray for the swift return of our spiritual director, Kyabje Thupten Zopa Rinpoche, who showed the aspect of passing away last April. May we soon have the fortune to find his unmistaken reincarnation, so that Rinpoche can continue to guide us and guide the organization. We can also dedicate the merits that we have accumulated by trying to develop our minds, so that there may be no wars, no famines, no disease, no sickness, no quarreling, no fighting, no environmental disasters, no catastrophes of the elements. And may peace and harmony prevail in everyone's hearts and minds. Thank you very much for joining, everyone, and have a beautiful day. We will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. on Zoom, and on Friday as well, 9 a.m. on Zoom, as well as here in person at Tushita. You're most welcome to join if you are in Delhi. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.